My name is Milagros del Saz Rubio and I work at the Department of Applied Linguistics at the Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. Today we are going to have a look at the uses of English articles. The aims of this presentation are the following. First, we are going to explain and differentiate among the uses of the so-called indefinite article, definite article, and zero article. We are also going to provide some practice to illustrate the use of these words. Right, before we start, I just want to remind you of some preliminary notions. Normally, we use the English article depending on the kind of noun. As you may remember, there are countable nouns, nouns which can be counted, for example, chair or farm, but there are also uncountable nouns, nouns which cannot be counted. And also, we use the article depending on the way we have used the noun. This means, is it the first time we are using the noun or is it the second time? Right, let's start with the indefinite article are and. We normally use are and with singular countable nouns, especially when you mention a person, a place or a thing for the first time. And when you are not referring to a particular person, place or thing. So if I say, let's buy a kilo of potatoes, what I mean here is any kilo. I'm not talking about a particular one. Let's consider the next example. If I say, I'm reading about an engineer, well, this is the first time I mentioned it, so I use and. Remember, we use and when the next word becomes with a vowel. Right, when we want to use and with plural countable nouns or with uncountable nouns, we have to use it differently. Still, we are using it to mention the noun for the first time, and we are not referring to a particular person, place or thing. But we normally use zero article or we use some. Let's have a look at the example. There are some baskets in the barn, no matter which ones. Or we need to buy some wheat for the tortillas. In both cases, well, in the first one, baskets is in the plural, okay, and wheat is an uncountable noun. Right, now let's move on to the definite article. We normally use the with singular and plural nouns, and they can be both countable or uncountable. Especially when you mention the noun for the second time and when you are referring to a particular person, place or thing. For example, if you say, the engineer I'm reading about was born in Manchester. Remember that you have mentioned the engineer before. So, for this second time, you use the article the. Or if we say, the kilo of potatoes is on the shelf. You know which kilo of potatoes I'm referring to. Just another example. The coffee we bought is organic. Well, it's a specific coffee that you and I know about. So it's not just any coffee. Right. We also use the with unique things. For example, the moon is full today. There is only one moon. Or, Mike is working in the yard. In this case, there is only one yard, and both the speaker and the hearer know what I'm talking about. We also use the with a phrase or an adjective such as first, best, right or wrong. For example, American Neil Armstrong becomes the first man to walk on the moon. Right, and now let's move on to the zero article. Right, we use zero article with uncountable nouns and plural countable nouns that are not specific. Imagine that I say, I love watching videos. In this case, I'm talking about no specific video in particular, so this is a general statement. Or, what is this? this is chemical fertilizer. In this case, I'm classifying something into a group or category. And the last example, organic farms are very popular nowadays. Again, I'm just talking in general. This is a general statement. So I'm not talking about specific organic farms. Right, now let's compare some of the uses of the zero article versus the. We normally use the when we are talking about a specific or unique person, place or thing, and which can be both countable or uncountable nouns. So if I say, I love the video you gave me for my birthday, I'm talking about a particular one. Or if I say, where are the fertilizers we bought for the orchard? Well, you and I know which fertilizers we are talking about. And finally, just one example. I love the rice from Valencia. It is the best for paellas. So in this case, I'm talking about a specific type of rice. Right. Some other special uses of the are the following. We normally use the with places, especially if they are oceans, rivers, islands, regions, the name of countries, deserts and mountain ranges. For example, the Danube, the Far East, the Canary Islands, the United States, the Kalahari. But we do not use the with lakes, continents, buildings and locations. For example, we say Lake Garda, Florida, Edinburgh Castle, Birmingham Station, but we say the Netherlands, The Hague. Right, and now I just want to finish with some special uses of articles. So I want you to notice the difference in meaning in the following sentences. My children are at school right now. Or, my mother is at their school right now. So, notice that in the first sentence, my children are at school, there is no article because my children are there as pupils. But in the second sentence, my mother is at the school because she is just visiting. She's not there as a student. The same happens in the next example. Marta is in hospital as a patient because she broke her leg. But I went to hospital yesterday to pay her a visit. In this case, I use the because I'm there not as a patient but just as a visitor. The same applies to other institutions such as the church, college and university. A note of caution, remember that singular countable nouns cannot stand alone, so you always need to use an article. So we say, this is a delicious pie you've cooked, but we don't say, this is delicious pie you've cooked. Sometimes you can also use, instead of a, you can use these, that, or want with countable nouns in the singular. Right. Here you have a summary of English articles and of how they are used, and you can study this table if you've got any further doubts. And now let's just try one exercise. I want you to read this exercise and fill in the gaps with a, and, the or zero article. This is a recipe for pancake, so good luck with it. Right, and here you've got the answer for this exercise. And this is all for today. Thank you very much.